Okay, everybody. Good morning or good noon Eastern, if you are with us from the Eastern time zone. It is great to have you here again. Welcome to day 6. We're halfway through the 12 live sales of Christmas, and today is one of my personal favorite things because I like entertaining collectibles, and what I mean by that are things you use when you have a party, barware and little fun doodads that you have around. I get a big kick out of them. It's nice to have a bunch of people here in the chat. I see that Sharon Carter won't be with us today, which means some of you folks will have a chance to win some things that she might have bid on. But we've got Spiff 50 Vintage, and we've got Pam Clift from Ohio. Good to see you, Pam. Catherine in rainy Knoxville. It's interesting, I'm getting the weather report from everybody. Rain in Knoxville, rain in Ohio. You're getting the thunderstorm we had that kept me up most of last night. So if I look a little tired, that's why. Teofane, nice to see you. You're up in Canada. Loved Well Vintage, hi there. That's someone we haven't seen in the chat before. Good to have you. Jan Goodwin is back. Mooney from snowy Minnesota. We've got Lynn out in Washington State, which I hear is just pretty much wet all the time right now. Lisa Hemphill is here, and we've got LaDonna Durbin. Oh, very good. You are lurking and designing websites. That sounds exciting. Sharon Mangino, it's nice to have you back. Debbie from Chicago, hi there. Willie Joe, I'm excited to see you here too. There's something here I know that you'll like. Sharon Horsley from Ohio is here, and we've got rain in Birmingham with Pamela. It's nice and sunny here. It just passed. Blue Feather Mercantile, hello there. You're probably getting the rainstorm we had last night. Lisa says, cold in Nebraska. Christine, hi there. I am getting your emails now, so we can get caught up on all that. Suzanne, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I love having you all here. And yes, really enjoying your Vlogmas, Teofane says, though Zeno is clearly a morning person. Yeah, way more than I am. Marissa from Pennsylvania, nice to have you here. Christine K is in rainy Central Texas. Oda B Me Too is in Florida, which is sounding like a great place to be. Kitschy Corner, light rain in Metro Atlanta. Sue is here. Hello, Sue, and Candy Donnelly, Mary Rinks, Michelle from Illinois, finally able to make it. Well, we're glad to have you. We've got 6 more days of live sales every day at noon Eastern, the next 6 days after this. Joanne's here. Jan Angel in Colorado. Nice to see you again. Sandra McCory in beautiful Las Vegas. And Eric Escher in Heidelberg, Germany. It's great to have somebody from Germany here. Jenny plus one is finally here on time, she says. And Christine Tooker, I'm glad that you are able to be here. Patricia from Calgary. Susan Eaton is here. So we've got a great group of people, and we've got a fun group of stuff today. Kelly Bolden, nice to see you too. We have, like I said, this is one of my favorite categories of holiday collecting and decorating. Last year, of course, so many of us couldn't really get together with anybody for the holidays, and this year people are making up for it in high style. So we've got some fun things that will help make a holiday party a little more festive and bright. A little bit of its tableware, a little bit of its fun things to play with at your events. We've got some barware for those of you who do New Year's Eve. Is the tree behind going to be for sale? Well, hi, Gary. The tree behind me, if you want to send me an email, Gary, I'll take some pictures and show you. It's got a few condition issues. So it is my little Charlie Brown Christmas tree, but at the end of the live sales, I'd be glad to let it go if it's of interest. Behind the Times from Brooklyn, New York, you're actually an hour ahead of the Times where I am. Let's see here. So, and Margaret Richardson is here. Oh, Yvonne, nice to see you from Colorado. Happy Monday to you too. So we're going to get started here. Everything here, Daniel, it's nice to see. Oh, Daniel, you were born in Heidelberg. I'm guessing that maybe your parents were in the military, because I know a lot of folks who were born in Germany, and every one of them had an army guy as a father. Anyhow, we're going to start off because we're talking about 12 entertaining collectibles today. So things that you would use for entertainment. And one thing that people really like, and I'll be gentle with these because they'll be very loud, but noisemakers. And believe me, this is a lot louder than it sounds. I've got a lot of 5 here, and your initial opening bid is going to be $8 for the whole lot. So let me show them to you. And We've got these here and number 5. So there is a lot of 5, and we are starting at $8 for the entire lot. These are a lot of fun for Christmas and New Year's. The horrible clown, I think somebody should send to Misty for Christmas. I'm not brave enough. If you know Misty at Thrift or Junk or Vintage Hunter, she really doesn't like clowns. These guys I think are really cute. Now these were made in both Japan and the United States at this time, and this one is US steel. Let's see if we can get that to come in. There we go. US metal toy. Karen Radford at $10 is our first bidder. And hi, Lynn. Nice to see you all. Jenny plus one is at $12. Okay, there we go. So this one's actually made in America, and it's so much fun. Look at what a great time they're having, partying and dancing. That's the theme for today, is things that you would have at a holiday gathering. And so this little one here, there you go. You've got a guy with rather bad teeth chatting up a lady, but she doesn't seem to mind. I think these are really fun. These ones with the plastic handles like these are all the U.S. Toy Company here, U.S. Metal Toy. And we are currently $15. Willie Joe is our high bid. This is for the lot, and I should explain, when we do a lot, it means you get everything in the lot for one price. When we do choice, it means we have multiple items, and your high bid lets you choose one or all of them at the high bid price. So they are priced individually. Now this one is likely from Japan, a little different handle on that one. And the clown, I suspect, is from Japan too, although they don't say anything to tell us that. So they could be American. They're all from the 50s. I just think that they're really cute, and we are at fair warning on this lot of 5 of these, all 5 for one price, and we've got Willie Joe. When I say fair warning, that means it's time to get in your last bid, because we've got Jenny plus one at 17. Fair warning is my equivalent of the countdown. It means that in about 15 or 20 seconds, the bidding is going to end, and that is, so this is your clue to know that we are getting close to that time. We then say that we are going once, going twice. Susan Eaton at 19 is our high bidder currently, and we are sold. And we're going to see when the bid end comes up. We've got bid end in. And bid end and Susan Eaton for $19. The lot of noisemakers is yours. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I am going to present our next piece here. Now, Rosie's Auction House is here. Hi, good to have you here. It's nice that we've got some more people coming into the bidding here. And yes, Susan, I think you'll have a lot of fun with those. Those came out of an estate in Illinois. Now, of course, when we're talking about holiday parties, we've got to have some holiday barware and things to serve in. And hello, Laura Orton. Nice to see you here. So our next bid is on, this is all 4 of these. So it's the lot of 4 or set of 4 for one price. Whoever wins is getting all 4. And here's 3 of them. Here's the 4th one. These are starting at $12. And this is a pattern by Anchor Hocking. I'll just hold up one here, but it is a set of 4. $12 is the opening bid. This is called the Burple pattern. Look at this interesting little foot on here. This is why it's called Burple. They also did Bubble, and they also, Christine K at $12 is the opening bidder. They also did just a plain bubble on here, but this was the fancy foot, was Burple. And they did a bowl in this pattern that my mom would bring out every Christmas, and she didn't have the glassware, but she had this. These came out about 1960, and they're a great shape. They're a nice size. When they were made, they were water glasses. Nowadays, people drink more wine at a time than they used to back then. Hey, Fatbird Finds are here. It's nice to see you, Laura. I think that's Laura in there. Oh, Claire, that's very, very sweet of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your contribution. Thanks for the super chat. So here is the Burple stem. And again, this is a set of 4. Christine at $12 is our bidder. And I'm going to put that up on the screen here so that everybody knows. And I just think they're really pretty. And of course, anything that's this shade of green is going to be popular with Christmas time. I think the shapes are nice. And so we are at fair warning. Our high bid is $12 for the set of 4 of these. And let me get prepared for this. The fair warning means we're getting close to the end of the bidding, folks, so put in your final bid. And we don't do just in case on this channel. I do it when I'm on other people's channels and they do just in case bids, but I don't do it here. For me, fair warning is the warning you get. Lois Egan at $15 is our high bidder, and we are going once, we are going twice, and we are bid end. And our bid end, well, I would love to have sold it to Christine for $25 because I think that was a fair price, but Lois at $15 got it in time, and she is the winner, so she got quite a deal on these. We do definitely encourage, when we say fair warning, put in the amount that you're willing to bid. We don't want anyone to pay a lot more than they expected to, but we also want to make sure that the people who really love this stuff get it. So I am going to make a note here, and Lois is out in Washington State, so I've got some other things I think set aside for her that we'll be sending. So here we go. All right. The next set here, of course, when you're having a party, you got to have music and dancing and maybe a pair of bongo drums. I just think these are so great, and I think they're a lot of fun for a lot of reasons. Now, here we're talking about using these at a holiday party or something like that. Let me get back over to my right screen here. Just one moment and let me put in what I need to do here to be caught up. Okay, there we go. Hey, Trina, nice to have you here. So these bongo drums are our next bid. They are starting at $12. And these are, this pair probably were made in either Mexico or Cuba. They don't have a country of origin on them. It is possible they're American made, but most of the ones I find like this are from about 1960. Maynard's bongos, oh, I wish they were Maynard's. These are things that we see people using a lot now. They used to be, you know, at the time there was this real interest when these came out in Latin jazz. Laura Orton at $12 is our opening bid. There was a lot of interest in Latin jazz. There was a lot of interest in any sort of drums that you could take home and play with yourself and learn. And a lot of people bought bongo drums, maybe as much as an accessory. $15, Willie Joe is our high bidder. I'd love to find some made in Cuba too. I've had a few pairs of those. We don't get a lot of Cuban stuff. Sometimes you find it in Canada. Canada is not as restrictive with the Cuban trade as we are. But the reason that these are so popular now and sell pretty readily is because people like to do drum circles these days, where they get together in a big, like a beach party, and they all sit around there and they play drums. And so these are nice because they're portable. I also see people bringing them in to sporting events, particularly soccer games where they like to beat on the drums. So Lynn Comble at $20 is our current high bidder. We'll put that up there, and I'll give you a quarter if we can hear your little rendition of Little Drummer Boy. There we go. That was the chorus. You may not have recognized it. I never played drums when I was in a band. I was a singer and a bass player, but never a drummer. Willie Joe at $25 is the current high bidder. Please let me know if you come across some from Cuba. Well, believe me, I will. I would be thrilled to show all of you. Lynn at $30 is our high bidder here. And yes, it's nice if it's kids who live in another house. I like that. So anyhow, we really, they call him Cuban Pete. Yes, nobody has mistaken me for Cuban Pete. That was Desi Arnaz, but he was pretty great as Cuban Pete. I'll say that, or at least that song was a lot of fun. So let's see here. We have Willie Joe at 35 as our high bidder, and I am going to call fair warning now. So we are in the last moments of the bid on this piece. So please get your last bids in. Ricky, yes, that's right, Stephen Holmes. Lynn is at $40. And we are going once. We are going twice. And we are sold. And we'll get the bid in there. Okay, bid end. And we had a tie. Lynn Combill and Willie Joe tied, but Lynn got her bid in first. And so she is the winner of the bongo drums at $50. And I will put those aside and make a note of that for our bid here. $50 is the high bid. Okay, well, let's see. What else do we do when we go to parties? Well, in the old days, of course, everybody had to smoke cigarettes because that was just what everybody did at a certain point in history. It's changed so much now, actually. Nice music. Well, thank you. Xenomorph gets credit for that. He's got us hooked into a subscription where we can do seasonal music, which I think is great. These are Italian, and this one is going to start at $8. $8 is your opening bid. Now, these have an interesting history in that this was part of a big set of Italian ceramics, and ceramics from Italy were very popular to import about 1970. These are redware, and you'll see they've got the, they have a Tiffany, or, well, it's not exactly Tiffany, it's TT, I can't really read it, honestly. I think it's Henri or something, TT Henri, but it looks like Tiffany, which they didn't mind because that got people to buy them. Again, $8 is our initial opening bid on this little set. This is the cigarette holder, which a lot of people use as a glasses holder now, and the little ashtray. And it's funny, a lot of non-smokers buy this sort of thing now and use them as little coin holders and things to keep things on a desk. But what's interesting to me about this particular set, Claire at $8 is our initial bidder. This set was actually seen as a prop and used on Days of Our Lives, that soap opera. Back in the day, back in the early 70s when these were made, these actually were on the set of Days of Our Lives. And I thought that was kind of a neat little thing. And yes, I see Jenny saying, I was just having this conversation about how smoking was the norm back then. And it really was. In 1970, about 50% of people smoked. You always smoked indoors. You just lit up anywhere you were, and nobody gave it a thought. And for you younger people, I know that's really hard to fathom. I remember in the mid-70s, because my parents were chain smokers, and we went into a restaurant, and they had a no smoking section, and my parents were aghast that they couldn't smoke because we were seated in the no smoking section. Now you can't smoke in a restaurant practically anywhere, so like sands through the hourglass, so are the Days of Our Lives. Still smoking here in Switzerland, and yes, there are people who use them for their original purpose, that's for sure. So Claire is at $8, and she is our high bidder, and we are, let's see, let me get to the right screen here. We are going to get to fair warning here. And yes, I remember the beginning of no smoking in restaurants. Patty Shinkaruk is at $12. We have called fair warning, so that means get your final bids in now because this item is about to close. And let's see, vintage ashtrays have seen a resurgence with millennials for their stage sticks or pot. Yes, that's true, actually. Yes, there is another smoking thing that is now legal that wasn't back then. So, in most places, I guess. And we are going once, we are going twice, and I've just got to get this in the chat here. We are sold and at bid end, and let's just see where it comes up in the stream and who our high bidder is. And it looks to me like it is Claire Baruti at $15. You are the new owner of the smoking set here, and I hope that you enjoy it for a long time. And I don't mind to ship overseas, folks. You know, as long as it's not a place that has some restriction against it, then we're happy to send it along. All right, let's see here. The asthma generation, those who grew up in a smoker's house. Yes, I used to get bronchitis a lot, and then when I moved out and away from my folks' house, I didn't get it anymore, so that told me a little something. Okay, here we go. One thing, of course, that's nice for holiday entertaining, and one thing people really like, and Saturday Night Live did a very hilarious sketch on how it's sort of the default gift for office parties when you don't know what else to do, is a candle. But if you have a candle, you need candle holders. And we have this very pretty set of moon and stars in the amber color here. And these are going to start at $8. So $8 is your opening bid on the moon and stars. These are also from about 1970. Moon and stars is an old pattern though. And like I say, we're starting at an $8 bid for the pair of candlesticks. And you can see the condition is good here. They don't have a lot of wax or stuff built in it or crud, which is nice. No chips or cracks or anything. By this point, Moon and Stars was in the hand of, I believe it was L.E. Smith Glass that was making these. But they had been made in the Victorian era originally. Moon and Stars was a clear pattern of early American press glass. And it was slightly restyled by the time they did these in the 1970s, but boy, was it popular. Because if you liked traditional glass patterns, but you wanted modern 1960s and 70s mid-century colors, Moon and Star had both of those things. And there was a lot of interest in Victoriana, and the antique business really surged in the 70s, and Victorian was very hot. And so these reflected that. And they look nice with candles in them. I didn't put candles in them because the way I have the camera set up, you wouldn't have been able to see the bases if I had to hold them back. Patty is at $15. Laura Orton at $16 is our current high bidder. Let me get that up on there. Anna S. at $17, a new bidder in. Hi, Anna. Nice to see you here. And Patty is at $20. I just think the quality is amazing on these. It's really thick, heavy glass. Now, you have to remember in 1970, gas cost about 30 cents a gallon. So dragging truckfuls of big, heavy glass all over the country wasn't a big deal. And so that's why there's this great, thick, heavy quality to glass at that point. The material was cheap at that point to make. And so you get really nice stuff. Glass gets thinner and thinner as time goes on from this point forward because it starts to get expensive with the natural gas as well as the transportation. Laura Orton at $21 is our current high bidder, and we are at fair warning here, so please get your final bids in now because the high bidder will win this very shortly. What color candles would look best with amber? That's a really good question. I mean, it's really just a matter of personal taste, I suppose. I would think that a lot of people would use white. A few people would be bold and do a color with it. But I imagine that really probably white or maybe gold would be a color that you would see with this sort of thing. And we are going once. We are going twice. And Laura Orton is our current high bidder, and we are at bid end. We'll just wait for the bid end to come through on our screen here. And our winner, in the case of a tie, it goes to the first person who bid. So Laura Orton for $26. You are the new owner of the pair of Moon and Stars. Let me make a note of that. And by the way, I need to tell you folks that for those of you who bought the last 2 days, if you haven't gotten an invoice from me, which some of you haven't, it's because I was on deadline this morning to get my regular show for our 7 p.m. premiere. That's 7 p.m. Central where I am. It's actually 8 p.m. Eastern. If you folks have not been on my regular channel, we do premieres every Monday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. And you are welcome to join and be part of the chat there. If you're not a subscriber and you're watching here, you don't have to be a subscriber to chat there because we're not selling stuff. So, very good. So, and gosh, I'm sorry, Susan. I have to go by the order that it shows on my end, and on my end, her bid came in just a skosh ahead of yours. So, but hopefully there'll be something else that you will like. We're going to go on to our next piece here. So much of this stuff seems to be made in Italy, and that is the case in this place. Do I need to send an email? Just send an email to let me know that you're acknowledging the purpose. If I've already got your information, I don't necessarily need it though. This little decanter here is $8. So $8 is our starting bid. And this one is Italian, and this is from about 1970. Let me coax that out. It's a little chilly in here today. So these are Italian made, and this is a short one. This is only about 5.5 inches tall. It'd be nice for a little bit of cherry cordial or something at the holiday to put in it and serve. These were made in Italy, and they would wrap leather and paper over glass bottles to create these. And it's got the maker's information on the bottom here, where it says genuine leather made in Italy. So they would do leather, and they would do I said paper, but actually all of this is leather, and it was printed. So it is not ceramic; it's actually leather over glass. And we are at a starting bid. Catherine Thomas has got the $8 bid in. And let me get this back in there. There we go. It's got a nice wooden, actual real wooden cap on it. It was very popular to do desk accessories and things that you would see in a den with these globes. These are based on the original Italian maps from the 15th and 16th centuries during the era of exploration. And there was a lot of interest in that sort of antiquity at the time. We've got a lot of bidders here, and Daniel Clays at 15 is, let me get that up there. There we go, is our current high bidder. Hi, Nancy Smith. This is a live sale, and since you're subscribed and in the chat, you are welcome to bid. Carol Bloom at 20 is the current high bidder. So let me get that up there where we can see. And so it is different. It is a nice decor accent. I think the colors are really good. These were very popular as giftware at the holidays around 1970, and they definitely have their adherents. And I always have loved old maps, so I think these are attractive. There's the Italian label on the bottom, and we are going to call fair warning. And for those of you, I know there's a few of you who are first timers here, fair warning, I don't do a countdown and I don't do just in case bids. So fair warning is your cue that if you're interested in an item, you need to put in the amount you're willing to pay, because the high bidder will get it. And fair warning, I usually give about 15 seconds after fair warning to make sure that with everybody having a lag that they have one final chance at it. But we are very close to the end of this. We are going once. We are going twice. And we are at bid end. I'm going to put in the bid end, and as soon as it comes up, the auction will be closed. Waiting for it to show up here on the other end here. Okay, we have bid end, and Carol Bloom at $28. You are the proud new owner of this nice little globe decanter from Italy. We will have a couple of other cocktail shakers / decanters coming up shortly. So Carol Bloom, and whoops, I've got a knot right on the table. That makes things jiggle. Okay, we will have another sale later in the week where we do a lot of things that are more holiday tableware and decoration, but I wanted to put this in because this is something that might be used as at a party that was more casual, and I think it's just beautiful. I just love this stuff. I collect some of it myself. I have to admit, I was kind of tempted to keep this set, but I've decided to let it go. This is Glow Hill. It's starting at $12. $12 is your opening bid. Glow Hill is really, oh yes, Trina, there's a story about the tube. I'm sorry, the tube got left in Florida, and I sent you another thing in the meantime. And you'll be getting that soon, and it'll explain. I will be sending you the tube as well, but I sent you a little gift free of charge in the meantime, since I didn't get that out to you like I intended to. I could have Windexed these a little better, but these are Glow Hill starting at $12. They're really, really pretty. And the neat thing about Glow Hill, there's a few things about it that I like. It was made in Montreal, and it was part of what they called the Gourmates line. So you see Gourmates by Glow Hill, Canada, when you see a label, or sometimes you'll see just the mark on the bottom of a piece. They did the handles that you see here. These were done in the 40s, 50s, and early 60s, I believe. And these handles are actually Bakelite, or really they're Catalan. It's a reformulation of Bakelite to take these colors, but it's this great maroon Bakelite, and this is after most American companies are going away from the Bakelite. So Willie Joe at $15 is our high bidder. It's got a great knob. They really had an interesting combination of, as a lot of Canadian mid-century design does, it's almost a combination of deco and mid-century, because this piece could not be more mid-century with these flying buttresses as the handles at the end and the shape of the chrome tray. And again, this will clean up very well. I'm a little ashamed of myself. I thought I had actually washed this before I showed it to you. And then here are the cream and sugar, and they have a little bit of a deco feel. You've got the concentric rings and that sort of a squat thing. I think they're very pretty. You don't see a lot of this in the United States, even though it was sold here. Mostly I find this up in Canada, and so it's gotten harder to find because we haven't been able to cross the border like we had previously. We have Patty Shinkaruk at $35 as our current high bidder. And let me see if I can get this up on the screen for you. There we go. So our current high bid is $35. This stuff really is very pretty. They also did butterscotch colored handles, and I have a martini set in this. I like the maroon personally. I just think it's really neat. And yes, my two favorite eras combined, deco and mid-century, mid-mod. I couldn't agree more. Those are my two favorite design eras too. And I think that's part of why I'm really attracted to this stuff. Patty is at $40 and Carol is at $44. Let me try to get in here and let you all know where we are there. So $44 is our current high bid, and Patty is at $45. We are calling fair warning here. So fair warning, folks, the bidding is going to end very shortly. So this is your chance to bid on this nice Glow Hill set. And, you know, wouldn't this be nice for Christmas morning for with your coffee service? The maker, I'll show you again, the maker is Glow Hill, GOL-HILL. And that is who we've got, is Glow Hill here. So we are, and this is a coffee service with sugar and creamer in the tray. And we are going once, we are going twice, and we are sold. We are putting in bid end. We'll see who the ultimate winner is here as soon as it gets there. And Carol Bloom at $54. You are the high bidder. And I think that's a wonderful set. It's really gotten harder and harder to find. And I noticed the modernists that are discovering it. I've known about it for about 30 years because I would go shop the thrift stores in Vancouver way back when, and you would see it there. But a lot of the mid-century modern people in the United States are just now discovering it. So I think you're onto something there. And thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. I'm going to get this set up in advance next here so that I'm ready with that. Okay. Now we have, something that makes a little noise and something that makes a lot of noise. So this one is going to be a choice, and for those of you who haven't bid with me before, I tried to do this like a real-world auction, and in the real world, what choice means is that we're going to hold up multiple items, or at least in this case, two, and the high bidder will be able to choose at the high bid price whether they want one of those items at that number, or if they want both of those items. So say the bid is $30, you would pick one item at $30, or if you want both, it would be $60. In the case where the high bidder only picks one of the items, then the backup bidder, at my discretion, I will offer it to the backup bidder if I feel in the mood to do that, which I usually do. Okay, so what we have here, because we have New Year's coming, we have two different kinds of decanters here. Let me see if I can get either of them to come in focus. There we go. The one playing music we'll start with, this is the one that looks like a lantern, and $12 is our opening bid, folks, on these. So $12 is the starting bid. And you will see here and hear here that it is playing How Dry I Am, which is really great. This was done by Tilso in Japan. I'm going to shut it down because the music is probably a little annoying with the other music going on. But it's even got the tag that says How Dry I Am is the music and Tilso is the name. This is from, well, I know when this is from because my parents actually were given one of these for Christmas by my older sisters in 1963 before I was ever around. So I know this is from the early 60s. And the reason I didn't keep this for my barware collection is because I have the one that they gave my parents back then. Somehow it ended up with me. So $12 on either of these is the initial bid. So this is the one. The other one is also from the 1960s, and Lois Egan at $12 is our original bidder. The other one we have is late 50s or early 60s, and it has Parisian scenes in screen paint. So it's got the Eiffel Tower, it has the Arc de Triomphe, and it also has a windmill, which I guess they have those in France. Carol Bloom at 14 is our high bidder at choice. It's got good color, and it also has, which I like, recipes. So this guy is wearing a sandwich board that tells you how to make a martini, and she's got one that says Tom Collins. I've got another one around here. This one tells you how to make daiquiris and Manhattans and old fashions and all of those great drinks. So you've got the ingredients right here. And if you have not had more than a few, you can probably read the ingredients and make yourself a drink. And Nancy Smith, this one plays How Dry I Am. Nobody knows how dry I am. Yes, that's what this one plays, and it does work just great, and it's got the little wind-up music box on the bottom. This is, when you set it down, this pushes in so the music box stops. So we are at $22. Christine K is our high bidder, and it is choice. So the high bidder will get to choose one or both of these at their bid price. If the high bidder does not take both, we will, in this case, let the backup bidder have an opportunity at it. And we are, the windmill is the Moulin Rouge. Thank you, I should know that. I've not been to Paris, I guess you can tell. Thank you for singing it. Well, not everybody thanks me for singing, but you're welcome. I appreciate that. Leah Clow at $25 is our current high bidder for choice, and we are at fair warning, meaning that we are counting down here. So if you want one of these or both of them, put in your high bid now, because the bidding will stop very shortly. And again, it's your choice of one or the other. Catherine at 30. After that verse, I will definitely be keeping my quarter now. Well, that's just fine. I didn't really do the drummer boy much justice either, Daniel. So that's all right. And we're at fair warning, and we're going to wrap up the bids here. So we are going once, we are going twice, and we are at bid end. We will just put in the bid end and wait to see. And Catherine B at $38, you are the high bidder. And Catherine, if you'll let us know in the chat which of these two that you were interested in, you have the first choice, and then if you do not take both, we will go to the backup bidder. So let us know in the chat if you would. The windmill. Okay, so this one goes to Catherine B. Let me make a note of that. And our backup bidder as Christine K. Christine, if you are interested in the one that plays How Dry I Am, $32 was your backup bid, and I would accept that on this piece. So let us know in the chat if you're interested in this one. And in the meantime, we'll get ready to move on to the next auction here. Yes, okay, Christine. Well, that one is for you then. And so, this is what I like about being able to do this. If it works out, then more than one person gets to be happy, and that's always nice. Along the barware theme, this next set here is a set of 6, and it's one price for all 6. We're not breaking up the set. And holding it is going to be kind of fun. And yeah, Susan, I have to go by what I see on my screen, and there's enough of a lag effect, and so I try to do it that way so that I'm seeing the same lag, but I know it varies on everybody's computer. Here is the set of 6 shot glasses, and they are starting at $12. $12 is the initial bid, and I'm sorry, folks. I know people are saying they see Carol at 33, but I've got it right in front of me, and the bid end came after Catherine made her final bid of 38. So, oh, Carol at 33 for the backup. Oh, I see what you're trying to say. I'm really sorry about that. That is my fault. Boy, okay, this is awkward. I made a mistake. I should have offered the backup bid to Carol instead of Christine K, and I hope you will forgive me for making that error. Carol, if you are interested in the thing, I will find some way to make it up with Christine, and I apologize. So, Carol, you are all correct. I screwed up. Yes, exactly. Apparently, I did not refresh like I should have. So, please let us know. Oh, Carol, thank you. That's very big of you. I appreciate it. Christine will get the piece, and I'm very sorry about that. Thank you for trying to keep me on track here, folks. I will try to do a better job. I have to be honest, one reason I'm doing so many sales in a row is so that I get more used to the process, because that's how mistakes happen. So, and Christine, you have a deal. Okay, so here we go. We've got the Daniel Clay's is at $30 for the set of shot glasses, and I think they're just wonderful. These are from the late 60s, early 70s, and they loved to do these different colored pieces where they'd have a different one of each one. And sometimes you end up with cordial glasses, sometimes you end up with these shot glasses like these. I think it's a very lovely set. This just came from an estate in Florida, and to be honest with you, I don't know if they're Venetian glass, but they are 1960s, and I think they're just really sweet. And these came from another viewer, is what I was starting to say when I said honestly. And Carol Bloom is at $32, and is our current high bidder on these. These are all jewel tones. Sometimes you see pastels, so we've got red, we have 2 in purple, and we have 2 in green, and we have 1 in cobalt. And Daniel says he thinks they are Italian, and I suspect that they probably are. Again, so much of this stuff was done in Italy in the 1960s and 70s because Italy was the place where they were doing a lot of design, and modernist design was big in Italy, and Italian goods were very inexpensive to us at that time as well. Patty Shinkaruk at $33 is the high bidder. And yes, Misty would say put a bottle brush tree in them. Misty will put a bottle brush tree in just about anything, I think. Carol Bloom at 34 is our high bidder. And I think that we are going to go to fair warning. So please do get your final bids in, and I will try to be very cautious this time about them. We don't have a choice here, so it'll just be one winner. But let me hold them up one last time to show what you're bidding on here. And Vecchia Murano, thank you. That's wonderful. It's great when somebody can do the research on short notice. Carol at 38 is our high bidder. We are at fair warning. I'm just going to get the bid end placed in the comments here so we can get it in. Daniel at 38, and we are at bid end. And our high bidder is Patty Shinkaruk at $40 for the set of the, what we now know are Vecchia Murano shot glasses. And I think those are quite lovely, and thank you very much. So let me get you down here, Patty. Shinkaruk. All right. Well, that's great. Well, this next one is going to be a choice, but I'm pretty sure that the choice is very clear, so we won't have any mistakes this time, because these are just 2 fun things that are very much of the holiday tradition. One of them is Bakelite, and I think it's very cute. It is a swizzle stick. It is butterscotch, and it is from about 1940, and you won't be able to see it with my head in the way. There we go. Season's greetings. So it's a little swizzle stick. You've got the knob here, so you can stir this way. And Bakelite is really cool stuff. These are starting, by the way, at $6. And the other item, which is a choice, is another Christmas classic. which is the 45 record Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. So $6 is the initial bid, and it is your choice of one or the other or both of these items. They are very different from one another, but they both will start out at about the same price, so I thought that would be a fun thing to put together. And the Bakelite piece is obviously a little older. Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer didn't come out until 1984, but it was a big deal. And we certainly listen to it every year, whether we want to or not, although I have to admit it made me laugh when I first heard it. And I still laugh every time I hear it. This is Elmo and Patsy. They were the ones who came up with it. And Grandma on the cover here, I'm pretty sure is actually Elmo dressed up as Grandma. I'm just saying, I think he shaved off that mustache for that. And let's show the record here. Lynn Combell at $12 is our high bidder. Here it is. Here's the record. It doesn't look like it was used all that much, so it's in really great condition for you vinyl collectors. And the back was Percy the Puny Poinsettia, which I have not heard before, and I doubt anyone else has either. So that is our choice that we have up here, and we have Carol Bloom at $13 as our current high bidder. And yes, it really is epic, don't you think? So it is choice between either or both of the Seasoned Greetings Butterscotch Bakelite Swizzle Stick or the fabulous Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer record. Lynn at $20 is our high bidder, and I have to admit, I'm just having a lot of fun showing you silly things like this. So I'm glad that someone else has the same silly sense of humor that I do. I would keep this in my barware collection, but again, I already have some of these, so I'm letting it go. And I don't have a record player to play vinyl, so there you go. Lynn at $20. It does take very little to make me happy. It's true, I'm a very simple person that way, Daniel. Okay, let's see. And so Lynn is the high bidder at $20. We're going to call fair warning. And so we just have a little bit of time left and this will close. It is choice between these two items and our high bidder is Lynn at $20. Let me get things ready for closing the bid here. Just take me half a second to put in. And we are going once. We are going twice, and we are closed bid end. Let's see where we come up with this. It takes a minute, and that way I get about the same lag you do, hopefully, the way this goes. Bid end, and Lynn at $25. It is your choice, one or the other, or both of these. If you'll please let us know in the chat which one or ones are for you, then we will see if there's a backup bidder with interest in the other piece. And then we'll get on to the next thing. Well, thanks, Nancy. The reason I do the fair warning, both. Okay, very good, Lynn. Well, thank you. You get both of those pieces. The reason I'm doing fair warning, I realize everybody does it a different way, but the reason I'm doing it as fair warning is if you go to a real auction house, that's what you're going to experience. And I'm trying as much as possible. A lot of the mission of my channel is to meld the worlds of online selling and collecting together with the real world. And so I want you to have that experience. Okay, so both of those are Lynn, and I will make a note of that. All right, so we are getting down to our last couple of items here, and gosh, well, thank you, Rosie. You're an auctioneer, and this is as close as it gets. I'm trying really hard to make it be like that. So this might be our penultimate item, although we're actually making good time today, so I might sneak one item in if we get through this. But our next piece here is an ice bucket, and this might be something you need for New Year's. Now, I am starting this at $12. $12 is the opening bid, but let's talk a little bit about what it is. You will see these in amber, and you will sometimes see them in a light blue color. These were made for Di Serono, and I think it was probably about 25 or 30 years ago that they did these as a promotion. But the thing they did that was amazing is they got Benini glass which is a very famous Murano maker, to design them and make them for them. You see the pontil mark is ground off on this one. This is a hand-blown piece, and it also has what they call seed bubbles in here, and Kitschy Corner at $12 is the initial bid. No, I'm sorry, we had Carol, but now Lynn at $18 is our high bidder. Let me show you up close. It has little seed bubbles in it. And seed bubbles are a kind of curious thing. You notice they're all through it and they're not very uniform. This is made, at least the way Blanco Glass did it, is you throw an object in, and in Blanco Glass's case, they would throw a potato into the batch of glass. And throwing the potato in would cause the glass, of course, it turns the potato into, nothing very quickly because the glass is 1500 or 2000 degrees, but it causes a chemical reaction where it forms little bubbles in the glass. Lynn at $30 is our high bidder. And yes, I think Daniel has been very wonderful. Daniel is clearly a card and somebody I hope to meet in the real world. The handles here are applied. They have a little bit of scroll work. Again, this is all handwork. So it was a pretty nice thing, actually, to be part of just some sort of a holiday cocktail set that you would get this icebreaker. Ice bucket. Icebreaker is another thing. We'll have one of those on to sell someday, I'm sure. But Patty at $38 is our current high bidder. And it looks like we've got a couple of bids coming in after that. Lynn and Willie Joe both at $40. In the event of a tie, the person who bid first is the winner. So Patty Shinkaruk at $42. I think we're going to call, well, let's see how we're doing here. Yeah, we're doing all right on time here. Patty at $42. I think we will call fair warning on this. I see Carol at $44 is the high bidder. Lynn at $50 now. And put in your final bids, folks, because whoever's the high bidder in just a very short period of time here will be the winner. I've got to get this set up. I should have thought to do this in advance, but we'll do it right now. A real icebreaker, yes, that's right. So we are going once, we are going twice, and we are at bid end. We'll just wait for this to come through. And our high bidder is Carol Bloom for $77. You are the winner of the Benini for Di Serono Ice Bucket. It's a really beautiful piece. I have the blue one in my collection, so I understand the appeal. And thank you very much, Carol. I will make a note of that. And we're at $77. All right. You know what? We really are going to do a bonus item here just because we have the time. And if it's something you like, then we'll get you to bid. And if it's something you're not interested in, well, we'll still have time for our final item. So this is good. Let me just make a note of it because this is a little change from my schedule. So what is now going to be our second to last item is this. One thing about entertaining is people like to set up a fancy table that maybe they wouldn't do the rest of the time. Now, this is silver plate. This is going to start at $8. It is a flower frog, and I think that's what's so neat about it is three pieces. It's a lotus or water lily stylized. This is absolutely mid-century modern. $8 is the opening bid. Here's the bottom piece. And then the center where the frog sets looks like this. Sonia at $20 is our opening bid. I'm going to show you one of these pieces has a really good label, so you know it's made by Reed and Barton. And Reed and Barton, as silver plate goes, was probably one of the best companies that made silver plate because their designs were really good and they definitely followed the trends. So they did a lot of mid-century stuff. They did silver plate bowls with green and blue and colorful enamel centers. In this case, this is the flower frog because it sits in here, so you have a nice flower arranger. Let me see if I can get it in the right way. That would be helpful. Okay, there we go. So that has nice little hooks to hold it in. I'm not sure if Reed and Barton still exists or not. So many of our silver makers have gone out of business in the past 10 or 15 years. And I have not looked into Reed and Barton. Last I knew they still existed, but I don't know if they do currently. That's a good question. Shiloh Rush at $22 is our high bidder. And it's just a neat little 3-piece here. The other piece is also marked Reed and Barton here on the bottom. And these are silver plate, not sterling. And that means that, well, that just means that they didn't cost a fortune, because if this was sterling, it'd be about $300 worth. This particular piece, I think, came out about 1970 once again. And this came from the estate of a very prominent jeweler in St. Petersburg, Florida. So it was something they sold at one time. And we're going to go fair warning here, so please get in your last bids because we are near the end of the bidding. Our current high bidder is Shiloh Rush at $22. I think this would be very pretty on a holiday table, and it is something you could use year-round. Now, some people really avoid silver plate because they don't like to polish, but I'll tell you, if you actually use the pieces and handle them, you don't have to do more than a quick wipe once in a while. It's when you let it sit and sit and sit and sit and don't use it that it turns black. So this one is going once. We are going twice. And as soon as I can get it typed in here, we will do bid end, and let's see where we get at the bidding at the very end here. We've got bid end in, and Shiloh Rush for $30. This is yours, and I hope that you really enjoy it. And hi, Misty. Oh, it's wonderful to see you here. I want to show you something horrible, but don't worry, somebody already bought it, and they promised not to send it to you for Christmas. Poor Misty. I just love teasing her about the clowns, but I don't blame her. They definitely spooked me when I was a kid too, so I get it. I know some people really love them. I think it just depends on what your first encounter with a clown is, whether you thought they were great or scary. Well, thank you. I still love you too. All right, so I think we are at the very last piece for the day. Now, this piece is heavy, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of big. It's going to be great on a table for the holidays or Valentine's Day, or just because you like it. And it is 8.5 inches wide by 6 inches tall, and it is Fostoria's coin pattern. In the same era that the moon and stars and the other heavy glass were being made, well, this is Fostoria coin, and this is a compote. This is starting at $12. And I will show you. So starting bid is $12. I'll show you the inside. It is a true ruby. The lights make it seem a little bit more orange than it really is in person. I think this is a little more true view of it. It's really great quality glass. This was just really such great glass. Fostoria made really good quality. They're best known for the American pattern, but they were around from the 19 teens. Well, actually, no, I think the 1890s to the 1980s. And this is just a great color of red. And we are at $12, our opening bid. Fostoria's coin originally, there was a coin pattern in the 1890s, 1892, made by U.S. Glass, and the coins looked like actual American coins. And they said 1892 on them. And the federal government said, no, you can't do that because a sculptor had to make that, which means they could be sculpting dies and you could be making counterfeit coins. So they made them take it off the market. Lowest at $25 is our current high bidder. And so when Fostoria came out with their coins, you notice they are not real coins. They look like coin medallions, but you have the fasces, the torch there. You have the eagle with the date above it. Susan Jackson at $35 is our high bidder. It's just really great quality, and there are a lot of collectors for this. So many folks have seen Moon and Stars, but a lot of people don't know that this Fostoria coin pattern is contemporary to that. Hi, Janet. Nice to see you here, too. Janet is making great progress on her house up in Syracuse and having a lot of fun and doing some really neat stuff where she does They study things that she finds in the house online, and everybody gets to watch and participate. And I think it's a really neat way of doing it. Okay, so we are really close to the end of our broadcast, and that means we are at fair warning. Susan Jackson at $35 is our high bidder. Fair warning means this is your last chance to get your bid in before we end for the auction for today. And yes, Shiloh, we will bundle. If we can safely put things in the same box, we will. And this is definitely pretty heavy. Christine K at $38, Lois at $40, and we are, I'm going to put this down so I can get ready for the end here. Please do bid your max amount. Yes, that's right, Zeno, because I don't do just in time, so if someone comes in at the last minute, and it all has to do with when the bid end comes up on my screen, and we are going once, we are going twice, and we are sold, and we are waiting for bid end to come up, and there it is. And Christine K for $42, and I said I would do something nice for you, so I think I'll help you out a little bit on the shipping for this, so don't let me forget, because you were so gracious about my mistake earlier. So that was a lot of fun. I am so glad that you all joined me for this. I've got 6 more live sales to go, so we will have collector toys coming. We'll have gifts that your grandma might have gotten. We'll have gifts for guys. We'll have gifts for gals. We'll have a bunch of fun themes. We'll have another jewelry sale coming, jewelry and boudoir. So stick with us, noon Eastern, for the next 6 days. We'll keep doing this. If you haven't gotten an invoice from me the past day or two, it's because I was getting the video ready for tonight's premiere. But thank you all so much. It was really fun to have you here, and we'll see you again tomorrow, we hope.